Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into the incredible treasures that power our world. I mean, everything. From the air we're breathing right now to the phones in our pockets, it all comes from our planet. So, what exactly are these resources? And maybe more importantly, how can we start thinking about them a little smarter?
To get us started, I want to tell you a quick story about two kids, Bhumi and Surya, who are visiting their grandmother, Aji. Imagine them out in the countryside, fresh air, clear streams, and she asks him this really simple but deep question. It's the same question we're going to explore today. What are nature's treasures, and why do they matter so much?
All right, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll pinpoint what these treasures are. Then we'll learn how to sort them into two key types. After that, we'll look at the gifts that keep on giving and the ones we really have to protect. And finally, we'll talk about our role in this whole big cycle. So first up, let's head back to Aji's village with Bhumi and Surya. Because there, treasures like fresh air and clean water aren't just some abstract idea you read about. They're a real, tangible part of everyday life. In the village, these treasures are just all around you. You've got that fresh, cool air, rich soil for growing food, sunshine for days, and streams you can actually see through. Aji's point is so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. These aren't just nice to haves. They are the absolute foundation for all life on this planet. Okay, so if sunlight and soil and water are all treasures, how do we start to make sense of them all? We need a way to organize our thinking, a framework. And it turns out there's a pretty straightforward way to classify everything nature gives us.
And that leads us to the big question, right? How do we organize all these different gifts from nature? Because understanding the difference between what's basically unlimited and what's, well, not, is the absolute key to making better decisions for our planet.
You know, every single natural resource falls into one of two simple categories. On one hand, you've got renewable resources. Think sunlight, wind. These are things that nature just keeps making more of. But on the other hand, you have non-renewable resources. Things like oil and minerals. They're finite. Once we use them up, they are gone for good. And honestly, understanding that one difference changes everything. So let's start with the good news, shall we? Let's talk about the gifts that keep on giving, the renewable resources. These are the elements that work in a beautiful cycle, constantly refilling and renewing themselves. Let's start with the most immediate one, air. I mean, just think about it for a second. We can go for days without food, maybe a few days without water, but without the oxygen in the air, we're talking a few minutes, max. That fact alone just shows you how fundamental this renewable resource truly is. Now, the air we breathe feels like it's just one thing, right? But it's actually a mix. It's mostly nitrogen, which is pretty inert, but it's that crucial 21%, the oxygen, that allows us, and pretty much all other animal life on Earth, to even exist. And when air moves, we call it wind. And wind has incredible power. Think about a simple kid's pinwheel, a furky, spinning like crazy in the breeze at Aji's village. Now just scale that idea way up. That's a windmill. It's the exact same principle, harnessing that same natural gift to generate clean electricity for whole towns. Okay, so from air, let's move to water. And water has this great paradox. Our planet looks blue from space, it's covered in water. But here's the catch. Most of that is salt water. The fresh water that we actually need to survive is unbelievably scarce. Only a tiny, precious fraction of it is easy for us to get to in rivers and lakes. So how do we protect something so precious? Well, we can actually look to both ancient wisdom and modern habits. For centuries in India, people have used rainwater harvesting and built these incredible structures called bawadis, or stepwells, to store water. And today, that same spirit lives on in simple actions, like just fixing a leaky tap. Every drop really does count. And then there's maybe the ultimate renewable resource, the sun. It's so much more than just light and warmth. It's literally the engine of our planet. The sun drives our weather, it grows our food, and it provides the raw energy that sustains every single one of us. Our final renewable treasure for today are forests.
And they are not just collections of trees, right? They are these thriving, bustling ecosystems. And yeah, forests can regrow, but it takes a very, very long time. That's why protecting them is so critical. A lesson we saw in the famous Chipko movement, where villagers literally hugged trees to save their forests.
All right, now we have to turn to the other side of the coin, the treasures that don't renew themselves. These are our finite resources, and using them comes with a whole different level of responsibility. What makes these resources non-renewable is just the mind-boggling amount of time it takes to create them. That fertile topsoil we need for farming, that can take thousands of years to form from broken down rock. And fossil fuels like coal and oil, we're talking millions of years. Yet we're burning through them in what is basically the blink of an eye in geological time. You see a perfect example of this every single day, the fuel in our cars. Petrol and diesel are made from petroleum, a non-renewable fossil fuel. And yeah, they power our world, but they also create a lot of pollution. This is where our choices really start to matter. Picking alternatives like CNG, which, while it's still a fossil fuel, is a much cleaner burning option.
And it's not just fuel. This one always gets me. Think about the device you might be watching this on right now. A simple smartphone has dozens of different minerals inside: gold, copper, silver, cobalt, all of them non-renewable, all of them had to be mined from the earth. It connects this huge geological concept right to the palm of your hand.
So, where do we fit into this giant picture? This last part is all about our role and how the little choices we make every day connect directly to these massive planetary cycles. And here, the story of Bhumi and Surya comes full circle. When they go back to the city, that fresh village air is gone. It's replaced by the smell of traffic and smoke. It's such a powerful sensory reminder of how our consumption of resources directly shapes the world we actually live in. And this is the question that just hangs in the air, isn't it? After seeing that contrast, after feeling that difference, it just forces you to ask, okay, what's my part in all this? What can I actually do? And the best part is, the answers are actually pretty simple. The real power is in our daily actions. Choosing to walk or cycle for those short trips, hopping on public transport, turning off the tap when you brush your teeth, supporting efforts to plant more trees. Each one seems so small, but when you add them all up, these choices have a huge impact on protecting all of nature's treasures.
We'll end on this really profound thought from Mahatma Gandhi, because it just perfectly captures the heart of this entire issue. Earth provides enough to satisfy every man's need, but not for every man's greed. Our challenge, then, is to know the difference, to find our own balance and our own sense of responsibility within this incredible, beautiful system of nature.